Morning, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me all right. Morning, Rob, Greatest Fisherman, Dave, Mark. How you guys doing? You've been out fishing this week? Kind of a gloomy day today. It's probably good fishing, though. Kind of wish I was out there. We needed some rain. We could use some more rain, though. That would help a lot. So, yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me all right, and we'll kind of get started with everything. So today was the opener of Inland Trout in Illinois. So we've got some rosy reds and power bait and everything like that. Hi, Missy. I know some of the places they delayed the stocking, but over here at the sand pond, I guess the fish were stocked, so you can go ahead and catch them over there. Hey, Patrick, David, Evan. So, yeah, not a lot going on right now. We're kind of in between. Kings are definitely winding down. Right now, we're just getting ready for next year, getting a few products in for Browns and Steelhead coming up. I think if we get a little bit of rain and with the wind coming up, we're going to have some more Browns around, so that'll be good. So, hey, Salty, Lori, Sean, Joe, Reed, Gary. So, who's been out fishing this week? I did have some reports come in. Still guys getting out there and catching some fish, so that's good. A few kings around, but yeah, let's kind of get into things. I found a stockpile of convector high-speed 45s that I didn't realize I had. So I'm gonna do a sale on some 45. I don't know if we can get that. I've got 45s with line counters and without line counters here. Only a few with the line counters, but these are normally like $120 a piece. I'm going to do sell them in pairs for, I'm going to say, $160 a pair. So if you guys need some convector 45s, this is just like a deal I'm doing for everybody watching on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on YouTube here. So I'm not really advertising it anywhere else, just on YouTube. Yeah, so $160 a pair for these, which is a great deal. And then I'm also gonna do 10% off Shimano rods and reels. So if you guys need any Shimano stuff, again, this is exclusive to YouTube followers. For you guys that join in every Saturday morning, give you a deal on these and the Shimano stuff, Talora rods and Dakota reels, and save yourself some money. The Shimano stuff you don't have to buy in a pair. I also have a couple of these low profile cold water 454s. I'm gonna get rid of these for, I think they're normally like almost $180 a piece. So if buy the pair, do the pair for $300 a pair. So if you guys need any of these, give me a call or just stop in the shop. If you want them, they're not, the deal isn't online or anything like that. Just pretty much got to get it straight from me. So that's it. If you guys need them, let me know. All right. Oh, and if you need them spooled up, happy to do that with whatever you want. Copper, lead core, braid, whatever you want on any of those reels, wire. Happy to do that for you if you need them. So, morning, Brian. Let's see, David says, I was out last week and was good. Lots in the rivers, Kings and Coho. Yep, a lot more fish coming in now. It's just that time where they can't even wait for more rain and more water. They just got to make it upriver and spawn before it's too late for them. Definitely had some good reports in the rivers. Brian says the Madison chain's been good. That's good. I haven't been out there in a long time. What you been catching out there? Have you been fishing for catfish, muskie, or walleye, whatever? I got $1,500. Is that end to buy a 3-rod setup and lures for cohos set up in the spring? Yeah, that's plenty. We can definitely get you set up with everything you need for 3 rods and $1,500. That's no problem at all. We could probably get you more rods in there, depending on what you want, you know. So give me a call sometime today after I'm done with the live feed, and then we can talk about it a little more. But $1,500 is more than enough. Hey, Powder 9 and Will, how you guys doing? So yeah, new products came in this week. So far, it is the nice walleyes and bluegills for Brian. There's big bluegills and everything out there. Really, I miss fishing out in the Madison chain. Morning, Mike. So, new product for the shop here are bloop tubes. That one doesn't show up too well because of the color. None of them are. I have it on the green screen. I forgot to take it off the green screen setting. I'm doing a video. So you can check them out on the Facebook page if you want to get a better look at them, or on the website. Really nice tubes, really stout hooks. For those of you who've talked to me in the shop about fishing for browns and steelhead, you guys know I talk a lot about tube jigs. So I'm pretty excited to have something a little different in the shop. They all have like little custom paint jobs on them. They're glow. They've got dots and all sorts of stuff you can't get on just regular tube jigs. And plus, they come with a really good hook and jig head on there. So it's almost time for these. I'm sure you can catch some cohos on them already, but in a couple of weeks, these are going to start getting hot. So I'll have to remember next week to pull the green screen setting off of the software here. So I don't know if you guys saw, I uploaded yesterday a video on eggs, on loose eggs specifically, and how I like to treat them. Because most of the female salmon we're catching right now, they have loose eggs. The eggs aren't in the skein anymore. And I know we were talking pretty heavily about skein for a while, but we've got loose eggs here. Let's see if that'll focus in. It won't really focus. The focus is better on the YouTube video, but if you guys look at the video I uploaded yesterday, I pretty much just did my favorite way to prepare loose eggs for spawn sacks, how I cure them with pickling salt and krill powder, how I do all that. That way they're ready to fish. And I even tied a spawn sack in the video, but definitely check that out. It's a really good way to prepare eggs and without the commercial stuff, because later in the fall, starting now when I'm fishing for browns and steelhead, especially for the browns, I like a more natural egg. I don't like the dyes on the eggs. I don't like as much scent on the eggs. The fish don't seem to like that as much. So these are the eggs from the video that I cured. I wish it would focus in. I think it's because it's focusing on me. Maybe if I get out of the frame, I don't know. Either way, you can get a better look at them in the YouTube video. Like I said, how I like to prepare, what's been really good for me over the last 20, 25 years of harbor fishing and river fishing. So definitely check that out. Hey, Kenneth, Rob, Jason, nice deal on those reels. Yeah, take advantage of it, guys. Like I said, if you can't stop in the store, give me a call. I can ship them out and spool them up for you as well. Rob says, morning, Rob. Love the new fillet knife. Nice to see you at the Salmon Unlimited meeting. Yeah, thanks for being there and listening to me. And it was good talking to you as well. I do have a couple more sword knives left if anybody needs them. I have some frozen steelhead eggs from the spring. Should I thaw those and use for spawn for the upcoming fall run? I don't see why not, especially if that's the only eggs you have. It's better than no eggs. I don't know how you prepared them, if they're just natural or not, but they'll definitely catch fish as long as they were frozen properly. Even ones that weren't will still work. But yeah, if they've been vacuum packed, if they're not freezer burn and all that, they should be in good shape. Natural, yeah, definitely use those, especially when the brown trout start showing up, and then hopefully you can use them to catch some more fish with eggs. So yep, so we'll get into the fishing report. Definitely, like we alluded to earlier, there's fish in the rivers. I had good reports, guys catching some fish on spinners. I had guys catching some fish in the rivers on bloop beads here. They were working pretty good. That was probably some of the best reports I had were on bloop beads and a few on eggs as well. This rain this week, hopefully we get some more. It rained overnight a little bit. I didn't look at the stream flows yet this morning, but it had to help. And if we get more, that'll help a lot more. And we have some pretty good west and southwest winds coming up. That should help cool off the water quite a bit. Like they're predicting some really cranking winds over 30 miles an hour. So combination of that and some rain, I think you're obviously going to get what's left of the salmon in the lake to shoot up the rivers. But I also think you're going to get some more browns and some steelhead. Browns are starting to get ready to spawn too, and if the conditions are right, you're going to see more of them coming in, and hopefully they stick around. But rain's going to really help that. If we get a little bit of rain, I think you'll see some more browns in the harbors. But if you get a lot, then they'll shoot up the rivers as well. So I'm looking forward to that, because that's really my favorite thing, is fishing for the browns and steelhead. So yeah, bluebeard's been good. There were still some fish caught offshore, deeper, young kings, not quite as many as we were seeing like a week ago, but still some pretty good fish. I mean, for the middle of October, I don't think we could ask for any better fishing out deep. A lot of young fish, occasional coho and steelhead as well, but mostly young immature kings. So that's awesome to see. It's good to see for next year too, because there's so many out there. That means we should have really good fishing next year. I heard some fish as big as 15 pounds being caught that looked like they weren't mature. So that's a really good sign for next year. Hopefully we'll see some bigger fish as well. Lake trout, of course, on the reefs, that hasn't changed, especially south of Waukegan. The ones that are further south are doing really well. So if you still want to get out and troll, there's still opportunities for that. And it's also time to start catching some pike in the harbors. So there's big pike in all the harbors. I would take advantage of that as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, whether it's about eggs or any other things going on. Kenneth says, was 30 to 40 in 3 hours in the river. That's incredible. Was that all kings, or what were you catching? Was there a mix of other fish in there? And excuse me, what were you catching them on? That's probably the best report I've heard in quite a while. So congratulations there. That was awesome. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions about tubes or anything like that. Let's see what Evan says here. If you had to blindly pick a weekend to come up in November for Browns, Lakers, for fishing in the harbor, what would you pick? I can only take the trip up here, once more this year. Well, in our area here, we're not going to see too many lake trout coming into the harbor. It's mostly browns and steelhead. Me personally, I'm going to wait till Thanksgiving, maybe the week after Thanksgiving. The tough part about this time of the year, you don't know when we're going to get some bad weather, and then the harbors turn to mud because we had a pile of rain or something, or some nasty northeast winds. But typically, we get to this point in the season, we're going to see browns and steelhead start trickling in. But it's really full swing by the time you hit Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving. My favorite, and this is the least predictable part about it, my favorite week of the year to fish for the browns and steelhead in the harbors is the last week before it freezes, like when that water temperature is getting as cold as it's going to get before things start to ice up. That's always my favorite time. I just can't tell you what week that'll be, obviously. But yeah, I'd wait a little bit. I'd wait a good month before coming up here to be full swing. If you want to take full advantage of the really good fish, and then just have an assortment of the jigs under, fish under bobbers, have some spawn sacks, and have some jerk baits, some shallow divers, some bomber long A's, some KVD 1.5, some husky jerks, rip stops, stuff like that. That all works really well. Cast some spinners. That you can't go wrong with any of that kind of stuff. There's just a huge variety of baits and presentations that you can catch the fall browns and steelhead on. So beads, kind of says he's caught the fish on beads, special flies, and skein, and thundersticks. So all right, I'm guessing you were fishing on the Michigan side if you say thundersticks in the river. For browns, if I don't have eggs, what is the next best option? Also, what about steelhead, all harbor fishing? You definitely don't need to fish with eggs to catch the fall browns. And in fact, I actually don't fish eggs all that much anymore, even though they're extremely effective. Sometimes I just like catching them on lures more. So I catch a lot of fish, like on all those lures I just listed. on these jigs. Sometimes just tipping them with a waxy, or a little piece of shrimp, or even just a full piece of shrimp if it's small enough on a hook under a bobber. That works. You can catch them on minnows sometimes. There's just so many different things. Casting spinners like flying seas, rattle traps will catch them. Vibrex spinners, Mepsiglias catch them. There's so many different things. If you don't have eggs, don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to catch these fish. There's just so much variety that they'll bite. Sometimes you have to figure out what they want, but once you do, you're going to catch plenty of fish. And hopefully you catch one that has some eggs, and you can go back and watch the video I did yesterday and show you how to prepare them. Where am I located? I am in Winthrop Harbor, Illinois, which is just a hair south of the Wisconsin state line, right along the lake on Sheridan Road. So feel free to stop by, and if you can't make it into the store, you can buy stuff from me online, or just give me a call if you have questions or anything, or ask them on here. Really want to get a Laker this year. Any suggestions on where to get one from a kayak? For late fall lake trout, sometimes Milwaukee gets them, but it's kind of a crapshoot there. But further south, like Chicago and Indiana, are much better for catching lake trout. So if you really want to specifically catch a lake trout, I would fish down in those areas. And I'm not an expert in those locations there, but that's where most of the lake trout are caught. It's typically closer to winter when that water cools off a lot. Some of them will get along the break walls and stuff like that, and you have an opportunity to catch them. Just got to be really careful in your kayak at that point in the season because the water is cold and dangerous, and you really need to have a dry suit and be experienced kayak fishing for that, because bad things can happen in those conditions. What size spinners do you use for browns and rainbows? I like 3s and 4s around here. I know on the other side of the lake they'll use some 5s because they actually have bigger rivers. One piece of advice I always got from the old timers way back in the day is colder water, the bigger the blade. That being said, if I'm fishing, like if I'm trying to fish like Pike Creek with a spinner, I'm gonna use a smaller one because the river's so small. So I want something a little bit lighter so it's not hitting the bottom. But in the harbors, flying seas work great. But like the 5/8 and the 7/8 ounce. And then if I'm fishing aglias, it's usually, to be honest with you, more often than not, I'm using a 4. And you can never go wrong with gold. Anything with gold is going to work. And that's across the board for all the lures. Golds work good. Any combination of orange or chartreuse and gold. But gold is always a go-to color for me when it comes to those fish. I'd like to get some reels. If you can ship, I can definitely ship. Just give me a call sometime today, and we can get them out to you. Captain Dominic says, muskies and walleyes have been on fire inland. That's awesome. I definitely have the itch for some muskies. I haven't been muskie fishing in quite a long time. So, all right. So that's kind of it. If you guys have any questions, we'll kind of give it the last call for questions, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll open up the store. But yeah, hopefully soon I'll get a shipment of Okuma reels to be given away. I'm supposed to get some of the new convectors to give away, so that'll be pretty cool once that happens. Trying to think of any other news going out on the lake. I know that they are doing down in Waukegan, they're trapping lake trout for studies right now, so it's interesting to see what the results are from that. DNR does stop in here from time to time and kind of let me know what they've seen. They did tell me that the water temperatures dropped significantly during the week, and when that happened, a lot of the harbors down south did a lot better for kings. There were several fish being caught around the Chicago harbors, so that was good to hear because I haven't been hearing too much good stuff from down there lately. So, but yeah, that's it. Oh, Dave asked, what is the real deal? I don't even remember what I said. I think it was 150 a pair. Is that what I said before? No, 160 a pair for convector high speeds, and then 300 a pair for these cold water, low profile 450Ds, and then 10% off all the Shimano stuff, so Taloras and Dakotas. So that's kind of an exclusive deal for those of you watching the channel right now. So that's not something I'm putting online or really advertising elsewhere. I'm just giving you guys first dibs on this stuff. And we'll see if I advertise it more later on. But right now it's just for the YouTube followers. Line and leader recommendations for casting for browns and steelhead. You know, I just like 10-pound for the most part if I'm casting lures. And if I'm fishing like a jig or a spawn sack under a float, it's going to be 6 or 8. If it's really clear, then I'll stick to 6. If it's not super clear, then I'll go to 8. But otherwise, 10-pound for the most part. My main line, if I'm fishing from shore, my main line will be braid. But if I'm out in my kayak, I just have 10-pound filled up the spool. All right. Interested in like 8 low-profile cold waters. I actually only have 2 of these 454s left. That's it, my last 2. I don't have any more than that. So, all right. That's about it. Again, if you guys want to take advantage of any of the sales, stop in today or tomorrow or give the shop a call. And again, if you want anything spooled up, happy to do it. We'll get it spooled up with whatever you want. And have a good weekend. Good luck fishing. If you guys get some good fish pictures this week, make sure you send them to us. And we'd love to see them. And have a good one, guys.